Liverpool against Tottenham at Anfield. Obviously, Spurs have a horrible record at Anfield. But let's look at the form of the two teams coming into it, because Liverpool not on great form at the moment. They are out the title race.
Well, our form makes them look like City, I think.
But they are out the title race now. Klopp, in his last season, is only going to win the Carabao Cup, which has got to be a massive disappointment if you're a Liverpool fan, and what it looked like it could turn out to this season, because at one stage it looked like the quadruple was on. Spurs, it looked like, Spurs were nailed on for top four at one point in the season, and our season has come to a bit of a drab finish where it looks like Europa League is our ceiling, and if it goes really, really bad, then, it could go to Conference League, but I don't think it will come down to that. How do you assess the form of the two sides coming into this, and what's actually happened to Liverpool?
I think Liverpool's been an interesting one, because I don't think their level of performance recently has been, apart from maybe the Everton game, has been that different to what we've seen a lot of the season. I think the difference is a lot of the season they've been a lot of the time conceding some good chances, even going down, but they've consistently created a good level of chances, consistently being able to either get late goals or make those chances count. They've had that belief that they're going to get over the line. And I think once in the title race, because it was so tight, there was pretty much 1 point, or they were top of the league for a long time. There was pretty much 1 point between them and the top three for a long, long time. And then they dropped those points to Man United. With all those, they created a whole host of chances, and they didn't end up winning. They only ended up drawing. And then they again against Palace at home, they end up losing despite creating a whole host of chances where they, another day they win that game 4-1. And I think at that point, they really started to lose belief that it was actually going to happen after they dropped those points.
It looked like they kind of regained a bit of belief at that Fulham game, and you think, all right, maybe there is still life in this, and then they just go and lose to Everton in probably their worst display of the season.
Yeah, I think maybe they, I don't know, look, Fulham was a great result, because Fulham away at Craven Cottage is not an easy place to go, but I felt like they'd already lost belief at that point that actually were going to go and win the league, and I think that Everton game was definitely their worst showing. That was a game where they actually really didn't create that much at all. They struggled to really lay a glove on Everton, and Everton defended it really, really well, was super aggressive, didn't give Liverpool any sort of space that they like to play in. And then obviously, since the Everton game, they drew with West Ham in a game which they were quite disappointing in again, and it's very much petered out for them, unfortunately, and it's going to be very, very disappointing for Klopp's last season to end this way. I do think in the majority of the games they've created lots of chances, and I think their lack of clinical edge has definitely cost them massively, because they should have won a lot of those games that they've dropped points in recently. But the difference is, when you look at the games they've played recently, again, they've played the likes of
West Ham, Fulham,
Palace,
United.
Apart from the United game, these are all games where you play against teams who are always looking to restrict you. They're not looking to give you good quality chances. Tottenham's like the opposite. We give you very good quality chances. We're very, very open. And that's why I'm very worried.
As are they, though. As are they.
Yeah, so, as are they, but Chelsea should be as well. I mean, they are open. They're not as open as we are, but they are open, and hopefully we should be able to exploit that. But I think we're going to gift them a lot of chances on Sunday. That's what I'm worried about. I mean,
it's hard to disagree with that after what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. But in terms of the head-to-head, only lost 2 games in the last 5 against them, so I guess that's slightly positive. But the game that we did win, which is the one win, we probably should have never won that game. I mean, Liverpool were down to 9 men, but we took it all the way to the wire, got that last-minute goal, and obviously it was the worst VAR decision probably anyone has ever seen on a football pitch that day, with that Luis Diaz goal that should have been. I mean, there's a big narrative within the Liverpool family. They've been going on about that game all season. They were saying, "Oh, if only that game would have been given, blah blah blah, we would have won the league." But I think it's come down to it that game hasn't made too much of a difference, really.
It's funny. I thought if you look at the head-to-head, you'd probably say that in all the other games we've deserved to win. And then that's the only game we haven't, but we have.
Yeah.
That's just how it works
True.
with Tottenham and Liverpool. Because we always play well against them. We always get absolutely cursed against Liverpool. Every single game we miss big one-on-ones, open goals, whatever. And then more often than not, they get a last-minute own goal or a last-minute bit of luck against one of play and end up getting the win. And then it's like we got all our luck rolled into one moment in that game at the Tottenham Stadium earlier in the season. So there is definitely previous against Liverpool where it doesn't matter who the manager is or whatever, we always seem to get very, very unlucky against them every time we play against them. So maybe the tide's turning. We're going to get a bit of luck this weekend, but usually against Liverpool, it's not very lucky, especially at Anfield. Every year we get cursed there. Every year.
Yeah. But we do score goals though. It's always a game that kind of brings up a lot of goals for both teams, isn't it? Like, you think with the way we're playing going forward, like there's a chance of us to even trouble them, get a goal. We're going to get a goal this weekend.
The way we're playing at the moment, it's hard to see it. Hopefully we come out with different energy. You know, no two games are the same. Just because we were lackluster recently doesn't mean we're going to be lackluster here. But it's hard to envisage it considering recently we've just been so off it. And also, I feel like when we're building up, we're getting caught so often. I thought Chelsea rushed us into decisions. The build-up play isn't working in the same way it was earlier in the season. Vicario's playing out of play a lot. We're not really building up from the back and progressing the ball in an effective way at the moment. And Liverpool are one of the best pressing teams in the league. So it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to get a foothold in this game. We're just going to hope that we come up with some new ideas in this one and maybe mix it up a bit. Because if we keep playing the same way, Liverpool are just going to pummel us.
And you saw the last Liverpool game, we all saw that big altercation between Salah and Klopp on the sidelines with about 10 minutes to go, bringing Salah on. I mean, do you read anything into that? Does that signal discontent in the camp? What do you think that's down to?
I just think it's the frustration of the situation boiling over. They're out of the title race. Salah's frustrated because, you know, he's been such a big player. He's such a big player for Liverpool, and he's only getting 10 minutes probably. And Klopp is probably, he's basing it on Salah's recent form. He hasn't been that good. He's been wayward. His shooting's been off it. He's been missing chances. So that's maybe costing him some time on the pitch. I just think that whole situation's been boiling over recently because of their recent results and recent performances and the fact they've fallen out of the title race. And I think it's boiled over that moment. It doesn't really matter if discontent is there because Klopp's leaving anyway. But I think these two players have been with each other for a very long time. I think it'll be water under the bridge.
What do you think he meant by, though, like, if I speak, there'll be fire? Like, Klopp tried to just play it down, but he never looked convincing when he was saying that. Like, if I speak, there'll be fire.
Because he didn't want to say anything too emotional at the moment. So, he's probably heat at the moment just after the game. He's probably saying, I don't want to say anything now because I'll probably say something I regret. That's what I imagine.
Fair play. But let's look at their predicted lineup coming into it. The injuries that they've got is Joel Matip, who's been out all season, Thiago Alcantara, Diogo Jota, and Van Dijk hasn't trained, and he's a massive doubt coming into this game. And if Van Dijk is out for the game, that is a massive plus for us. But they do have Konate, who's also a massive threat from set pieces. They've got Trent, who's obviously a great set piece taker. Apart from set pieces and the usuals, like, that attack, how do you expect them to come at us on the weekend?
Strongly. Unfortunately for us, the more injuries, the worse for us, usually for the opposition, considering how you've played against Newcastle and Chelsea recently, who are absolutely hamstrung with injuries. Look, Liverpool have a good squad, in my opinion. I know they're not going to win the league, but even with injuries, they've still got a very good team out there. And I see it being very, very difficult for Tottenham to contain the Liverpool side. I see Liverpool opening us up at will. I see them absolutely pressing us into oblivion. We couldn't live with just Caicedo and Gallagher, and they're going to have a midfield three absolutely nipping our heels, not giving us any time on the ball. And I see them completely dominating and pressing us and winning the ball high and turning us over and getting in time and time again. And then adding that into that, you've got Trent and Robertson coming from fullback. If Son's going to play on the wing, is he going to be tracking Trent all the way back? Is Brennan going to be, or Kulu going to be tracking Robertson all the way back? Are we going to have the players to really exploit the space that Liverpool are going to be leaving in behind Trent and Robinson to get in behind Konate and Quansah. I don't know. I think all these questions is difficult to come out on the side of Spurs. I think as much as Liverpool have been off form, they're still creating a bucket load of chances. And these are against teams who look to restrict them, and we're not going to look to restrict them. So I see them even creating more chances against us. So unless they're having a seriously bad day in front of goal, like a lot worse, unless their finishing is worse than it has been recently, which I find that hard to imagine it will be, I really think we're in for a hiding. I can see us, look, because of the risk they commit, I definitely see Tottenham having a few passages where we look bright and we get in on their goal and maybe we even get a goal. But I think it's going to be few and far between. I think Liverpool are going to have control of the game. I think they're going to have control of when the chances are created, and I think they're going to absolutely tear into us. And you got to take into account they're going to be a bit fresher because they haven't had the midweek game as well. So I think it's going to be a very difficult game for Tottenham.
I mean, has that ever stood us in good stead when we haven't had the midweek game and we're playing up to a team that plays the midweek game? I mean,
apart from Villa, no.
I mean, every time it seems to work against us, really. But you're looking... Liverpool in the past couple of weeks have been just so, like, they've been creating chances, but they've just been so, like, lackluster in front of goal, haven't they? Missed so many chances in all these games that they drop points in. And you just know, like, as a Spurs fan, how things go throughout the years. Like, all these chances are going to go in against us, aren't they?
Yeah, and if it does, this could be embarrassment, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the kind of game I'm expecting. Look, I'm hoping we get a reaction, but I was hoping that after Fulham, I was hoping that after Newcastle, I was hoping that after the North London derby, and it didn't really happen.
Yeah.
Didn't really happen, so I don't know whether to expect that now.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to expect it. It's hard. You have to hope.
Yeah,
surely
it's more hope than expectation.
Surely you've got to hope, but, like, if you're thinking about it logically, and looking at the form of us going into it, like, how can anyone logically think that Spurs are going to put in a good display here?
Yeah, I think we'll try.
Of course, we'll try, really.
Well, I think we'll try. I just don't know whether we're capable of keeping out this Liverpool team who, as I've said, even at their poorest, they create a bucket load of chances and a bucket load of XG. And these are against teams who actively try to load their box and try to make it difficult for them to create chances. And we're not going to do that. We're going to make it easy for them to create chances. So on that basis, they're going to create an even higher level. So, and
it's not even chances from open play, isn't it? It's set pieces as well, which you've got to heavily worry about. And if they're going to be peppering us so much, you would assume that they will be getting a lot of corners, they'll be getting a lot of free kicks with the stupid free kicks that we do give away. And are we going to be able to combat the set pieces? Never mind the bloody open play chances.
Nope. They're very good from set pieces.
Yeah, they're amazing from set pieces.
Trent, great delivery.
Konate
at the back, yeah. So it's hard to look at this and think of a way how we will kind of get a good result here. And it's also they're very, very intense in their pressing, so they're not going to give us any time on the ball. They're not going to allow us to settle into our rhythm, which we need to do to get a foothold in games, I feel. So it's not going to be like it has been recently where we're dominating possession and we just can't break the door down. I don't think it's going to be like that. We're not going to be able to hang on to possession here, I think. We're going to be turning the ball over a lot, and they're going to be in on our goal every single time, I feel.
Yeah. In terms of going back to what we were saying about defending set pieces, like, first of all, we know Ange is probably not going to be focused on that in the build-up to the game. But if we see someone trying to put pressure on Vicario, if we see someone doing a bit of shithousery, it's on the players as well. It's not just on Ange to work on it in a training pitch, but it's on players to take initiative on the football pitch as well.
Of course. It's the players have to take responsibility, 100%.
And they're not doing that at the moment in any facet. Like, it's just frustrating me so much. That's what hurts me the most. Like, these players just not stepping up and taking responsibility when the team needs them. And when you go to places like Anfield, when you go to places like Stamford Bridge, no matter what form they're in, no matter what kind of moment they're in the season, these games can swallow you up. And I think that's what we're seeing, and that's what I'm fearful of this weekend. Like, the Anfield crowd, Klopp's second last game, they're going to be up for it. They want to give him a good send-off. They know the league's gone. They're going to play with nothing to fear, nothing to lose. So, you know, you never know what can happen on that pitch this weekend.
For sure. A Liverpool side in full throttle is hard to stop in the best of times.
Forget full throttle. Even if they're in like 10%, 20% throttle, they can eat us alive.
Yeah.
With the way we're playing.
Look, even if they play how they've played recently, they'll beat us comfortably. Even if they play in the same way how they played recently, they will win the game. The only thing we hope for is if a kind of Man United kind of game where they just miss a bucket load and we get a few moments where we can just hurt them.
Son on the break.
You get Maddison from the halfway line and Son on the break, and that's it.
Maddison from the halfway line.
That's what we got to hope for. And Man United kind of just luck it out. You get a few moments where you show your quality. You completely get the luck of the rub of the green. Vicario has a mad game. They just miss a few chances, and we can sneak a draw or something. That's kind of the only way I see us getting a result. I think the balance of play, I can't see Liverpool not dominating and probably creating more chances than us. And the way we defending at the moment, I can't see it being the floodgates really opening in terms of chances being created.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that we don't get lucky like Man United. The luck goes against us.
Yeah.
So, look, it's a game of football. It's a 90 minutes.
Know.
It's a 90 minutes game of football. You never know what can happen. You know, Spurs can turn it on the day. It would be so classic Spurs for us to go and win this game, though, wouldn't it?
That's why I want in this game Tottenham just to really go for it lineup-wise, like in terms of having another offensive player, because if they're going to press us into oblivion, you might as well have players more comfortable on the ball, like a Lo Celso or Deki, who can take it under a pressure situation. If you've got Sarr there, I would say Ben's called to a less extent because I think he's a bit more pressure resistant, but at the moment, unfortunately, he just isn't at that level at the moment. So if you've got a Deki or a Lo Celso, someone who's more comfortable playing on the half turn, willing to actually take on their mark in those situations, then in those situations, maybe you might actually get some joy and you might actually break out their press a few occasions, and then all of a sudden you can actually start causing them problems. I think if we go with a more defensive lineup, yes, you might be more competitive, more combative a few duels, but I see us being just as open, and I see us being a lot less able to hurt them going the other way. So that's why I'll just go a bit more offensive and actually just start asking more questions of them.
A few people have mentioned it in the comments. A few people mentioned it to me last night at Stamford Bridge, and I think I brought it up with you in a stream that we did. I can't remember which one it was. Why not give Romero a go in the 6 in this game and put Dragoshin at right centre-back? First of all, Dragoshin needs game time, and second of all, try it out.
Try anything at the moment.
What can we lose by trying it out?
Anything, but you just lose him in the centre-back position. That's what you lose.
Yeah, and if it's not working, you can always move him back there. But, I mean, first of all, no one that we're playing in the number 6 is showing anything, like literally anything right now. So why not try Romero? We know he likes... he's got good ball-playing ability. He's combative. He's aggressive. He's trying his utmost for the team at the moment. So
try it. I don't think it'll work. I don't mind trying it because nothing's working at the moment. So why not? But I think it's a similar discourse to we need Deki in the centre instead of on the right, or we need Son on the left instead of up front. I think it's the same thing. We'll try it and nothing will change because that's not the issue. But I think I don't mind trying it.
But an issue is how open our midfield is and how easy it is to get through, and maybe Romero can kind of diminish that a little bit.
Maybe, that's potentially. I don't think it's going to materially change much, but I think we can try it.
Yeah, I just feel like with what the midfield players are showing, it's just craziness to keep playing them because they're just not showing anything whatsoever. So Dragoshin has never played for us in his favourite position at right centre-back. And a lot of people want to see Romero in the number 6 and see what he can do, maybe on the one-off game. And what a better place to test yourself than Anfield. And we got absolutely nothing to lose, so I don't see why not.
I'm happy to do it. I mean, at this stage, the season's done. No one's playing well in midfield on the number 6. So if he starts it there, I mean, I'm not against it. I think it's not going to change much personally, but I'm happy to go with it. I don't think there's anything bad that can happen. I just don't see it. I don't think putting Romero there is going to improve anything. But I don't mind doing it. I'm not against it.
All right, well, 2.5 hours, guys. I think that is all we have time for. Sim is going up to Anfield this weekend, and I will be in the studio with Barnaby, I believe. So
First time together?
No, second. We've done a watch along before. I can't remember which game, so I can't remember the record. But I think all records go out the window when Spurs are playing this way. So it's yeah. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone for coming on today. It's been a long one, and yeah, therapy for the Chelsea game. Sorry we couldn't give you much hope for the Liverpool game, but join me here on the watch along Sunday. Is it 4:30 kickoff?
Yep.
4:30 kickoff at Anfield, and we'll get the footage from inside the stadium from Sim as well. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.